Bonjour. So, hello and welcome to the podcast Fiction After Lunch. I'm Mindy.
I'm Sam.
And you are?
A Mac.
I really like how every time you're like saying everything so enthusiastically, like, I'm Mac, I'm again here in this room with these two weird people and I need to read this. What did you say the last time when you have been here? This mindfuck?
I was convinced to get here by force.
No, this time actually I asked you if you want to participate in our meeting.
With a knife in my face.
With a knife in your face. No, I was like saying you don't get any food if you don't join
Exactly.
our
And
meeting.
then you dragged me here and put me at this table with a microphone and I'm still restrained. I can't move. But that's fine because I'm getting used to it, kind of. And therefore...
Is it getting comfortable to be chained up on the chair?
I won't answer this question, but I wish all listeners a pleasant bonjour.
Bonjour!
Because
Bonjour.
you
Yeah.
missed your part.
Oh my god. I'm so sorry. For the last chapter today, I totally messed up again. No, actually today is not a Fiction After Lunch episode because we just had brunch.
Ooh.
Big difference for you listeners.
Today it's fiction before lunch.
Yeah, Fiction Before Lunch. Oh,
Well, I'd
I
rather
like this
fancy
really good.
Fiction After Brunch because it stays in the context and the name of the original series is still recognizable somehow. So, what about Fiction After Brunch?
I said this
Or what about
before.
Fiction After Breakfast Before Lunch?
Like,
Even better.
even better, like Fiction After BBL.
Fiction After Barbecue.
Barbecue. Sure, why not?
That's something to do in summertime, isn't it? Like have a nice
No, I normally have my barbecue
Barbecue.
in winter and snow.
good,
Good. So,
very relatable.
because we are the Fiction After Brunch, lunch, breakfast, lunch thingy. Maybe in later episodes we will also have like a dinner
Oh,
thingy.
Dinner, lunch.
But now comes the most important question. Sam, what did we eat for brunch or breakfast?
we ate eggs.
We ate our eggs.
Yes, we had eggs and we ate them.
Oh, what else do you do with eggs?
Yeah.
Throwing them
Don't
Have we
answer.
got eggs or X's?
Huh?
Have we got eggs or X's? And what?
X's?
Which do we eat?
I'm
Well,
confused
never mind.
as
I hope
much as you are.
it's been delicious.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, but what else did we have?
I don't know how to say the little bread. What's the word?
Brötchen.
Bread
Brötchen.
buns,
Bread
rolls.
buns?
Ah, we had. I brought fresh bread buns from the bakery this morning. We had marmalade and peanut butter and cheese and I'm gesturing.
What did you try to say?
Trauben,
Grapes.
Grapes.
grapes, yeah, and tea, and
then an ominous French cheese that looked like toothpaste.
Yeah, but actually it tasted quite good, actually. So.
Oh, you tried?
Yeah, I tried the cheese that you recommended. It was a little bit weird and fluffy and everything, but I still tried it. It had a very intense flavor to it.
Oh, like everything French.
Yeah, and also Sam brought some homemade marmalade from your mom.
Oh, you
Yep.
mean rose jam?
Yeah, rose jam.
No, not rose germs. Don't.
Not the germs again. Like last time you were
Oh,
talking
no.
about germs all the
Not the
time.
germs.
Like
German
Germans are
and-
germs or something.
Yes.
Yes.
Germs
No, but
are
it was
germs.
really, really good, and actually now I have the marmalade in my fridge, and Sam gave it to me, so I'm really happy about it now. And Sam also brought me a present, which like I was really, really surprised and really happy about it because for you listeners, maybe you know we have a YouTube account now. We have a YouTube channel. And in this channel we are sometimes uploading some like videos of, how's it called, outtakes?
yeah,
Like
little
some-
animations of outtakes.
Animated outtakes, you might say.
Yes. Yes.
Because some stuff that we are like discussing in the podcast itself, we are like, I am cutting it normally out when it's like weird or like, I don't know. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes we are just talking about a lot of stuff and then it's like getting way too long. And
Yeah, when we get too distracted.
yeah, and not talking about the story anymore. So I'm trying to balance it.
We try to stay focused.
Yes. And there was one story about a tomato plant, which you maybe already saw. If not, stop the podcast, watch the video, and come back again. Otherwise, you're not allowed to continue.
Link
No,
in the description.
you're still allowed to continue. And yeah, actually, she brought me like 2 tomato plants, which were already, how's it called? They are already
Homegrown.
Mm-hmm.
And you got them from your parents' garden, like
Yeah.
from your home garden, everything. And you also brought me, how's it called? Is the same name in English?
Gerania.
Gerania?
A small flower with red petals.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's really, really beautiful. And you will see this picture on our Instagram account. So I'm just starting to make advertisement for our social media now.
Buy
So
more
follow us
flowers.
on Instagram.
We're already talking for 10 minutes.
Yeah, we
bloom
just
up
made
your life.
advertisement.
Yeah, bloom up your life with plants recommended by the Fiction After Break Lunch and Dining
my
Team Podcast Associates.
Yes,
Yes.
this is a very nice podcast because maybe in future we will have maybe lunch or breakfast with my grown tomatoes. So who knows? It will become a part. Like every day I will make a picture of the tomato plant just to see if she dies or not.
We'll
Like
sell
he
the
or
fruits.
she.
We'll sell the fruits exclusively hand-packed because they're hand-grown and therefore they are most delicious just through the concept of it. And we might sell some of them in a limited offer for, let's say, 100 euros each.
Wow.
To show you, dear listeners, our appreciation of your comfort, of your satisfaction with our product, and we'll let you come a bit closer with our hand and homegrown tomatoes.
Don't trust him. Don't trust him. He just wants your money and then just to disappear or something. You will never get tomatoes.
How very unfortunate, you spoil the best part.
Oh, the best part for you, you say.
Of
Not
course.
for our listeners.
I don't care.
But for the listeners, we have like some. You're really a villain. Like your laugh is really evil. Like why are you sitting here again? Because I'm scared of you.
You
like
drugged
Sam,
me,
aren't you
and
scared
you
of
dragged
him?
me.
I drugged you.
Yeah, you drugged me and you dragged me here. And I still can't move, but I can make my mind up and therefore.
Oh, no.
Still
And you have a
some-
microphone in front
something to do
of your
with
face. Like your hands are chained up. Like you only got headphones and a microphone, and you just need to talk.
I do only consist of a hat.
Oh my god!
My other
What
body
picture?
parts are already missing because you made a fortune out of every part. You sold it to some organ vendors, to some scammers.
What?
Yeah, of course.
What is happening? Oh yeah, by the way, we are we are fiction after brunch, which means we are also reading a fan fiction here, which I wrote when I was 13 years old. And yeah, obviously you should have listened to the episodes
Before.
So I will not explain what happened until now, and Meg also knows what happened until now.
I didn't. I can't be bothered.
No, you know, I think. I think the only thing that you don't know was what happened in the last episode, but I need to admit, I have no idea.
Nothing
do you know
happened.
anything? Like, Sam, do you remember what the last episode was about?
Mindy got really angry at Zim. Something happened and Mindy got angry.
Okay, yeah, I think it was this, like, Gear's other side. What was the name of the last chapter? And it was, like, Gear became angry? Like, evil?
There were a lot of angry people in the
Yeah,
last
like,
chapter.
everyone was angry, and Zim was like, what is happening? And, yeah, I think Mindy realized that Jill might be Gear,
Mhm.
and that Zim broke his promise. And then
Oh, no.
Mindy became really angry and like, you cannot break promises or something like this.
Ah, she figured out what Zim did.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
how is it called? The transformation of Gear into a human being. So
Yeah, sticks and stones can't break my bones, but broken promises will break my heart apart.
Oh,
oh my god, this is so nice.
My heart is bleeding in tears.
Okay, this is not so nice. Okay, so let's get into the chapter, which is called...
Chapter 7. Mindy versus Zim.
Zim was back to normal and turned to Mindy and Lucy. He looked at Mindy and knew what was wrong with her. She was angry. Without a reason.
No.
Oh, nearly. About something. And the way she looked at Zim, he knew she was mad at him.
Like, how do you look that Zim is like, oh no, she's mad at me.
Zim looked quietly at Mindy. She just growled.
What's going on, Mindy? I made it Gil again.
He couldn't finish speaking because Mindy put him in the stomach,
Like, what did she put in the stomach?
also called speedily spooch. Had beaten. No.
Yay, Google Translator fail.
Yeah.
Like, what did she put him in the stomach?
There's this nice Monty Python sketch with a Hungarian come to England with a fake dictionary which translates Hungarian to supposed English in complete gibberish, and it's got the vibe, this sketch, because the English used here reminds me a bit of that sketch of Borat, you know.
Borat, okay.
Yeah, a bit like, no, it's completely butchered. You get it in a sense, but it's still completely butchered.
Yeah, Mindy put him in the stomach, had beaten.
Yeah.
Like, in my head, actually, I have the image of eggs. Like, she put some eggs on his stomach and just beat the eggs. I don't know, it's
The
just like
eggs.
what happens in my mind. Like,
The eggs again. The eggs we ate today.
yeah, the eggs that we ate today.
And you knew
Mindy's
that.
beating some eggs on the
With-
stomach of Zim.
When you were 13 years of age, you already knew what might happen today.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could travel in time, you know. I watched Harry Potter, I know how time traveling works.
Zim held onto his stomach and took a few steps back. He didn't even know that Mindy has such power when she's angry. Mindy said, in an angry voice,
You turned Gear into a human. You actually know that you are our broken promises. I think in normal she would say like, you know that you broke our promise with this.
she takes promises seriously. Who might have thought of that? Zim is stunned and stuttered.
I, meant,
Mindy looked at him even more angrily.
And for breaking our promise, hate you!
Of course,
But one thing I want to check before I hurt you.
Zim said, a little uncertainly.
what?
He quickly raised the gun. Ger had dropped and held the gun to Zim's head.
Okay, wait a moment. What is she doing?
Oh my god.
Oh my god, this is escalating.
She was so nice in the first chapters and so mostly neutral to everything that was
Yeah.
happening.
Plot
And now she's
twist,
like-
unexpected character development, and a hint of possible future violence.
Foreshadowing.
Foreshadowing.
Of course, but who knows what else might you need a gun for?
No.
Stirring your soup?
No, it was like a gun that Gear had with him, and Gear's, I think, unconscious right now. I don't know.
How do the holes come into Swiss cheese? Of course, with a gun.
Nani?
How else? You just shoot at a gun. You just shoot at a cheese.
Oh.
Why not?
But I don't know, it's like really sad. Like, he just broke a promise. Like, what kind of promise is that she's like taking so seriously that
It's
she
all made
wants to
up.
kill him?
It's all made up.
Okay. Question. Do you think she will shoot Zim?
Yes.
Yes, of course. What else?
Okay.
She already picked the gun, and why won't she use it?
Okay, why not?
Mandy, bang! No! Oh, I'm sorry. Please! Why
It's my
me?
voice.
No, then.
Oh.
I'll give you back your voice, so please.
Yes, so say my name.
Mandy!
Zah.
It might be an archaic spelling of the word tea. You know?
Like, tea?
Yeah. It might even get more absurd.
Yeah, tea!
Yeah. Zim looked startled, obviously. His eyes widened and turned blood red and lighted even more than before. His spider legs came out of his pack. Mindy looked a little startled at Zim. She had the thing about the spider legs now not expected. The thing about the spider legs was not expected.
I think it's quite true. Like, Sam, did you knew about the spider legs?
No.
Like, how do you imagine them?
Like the legs of a spider. Like 8 thin things coming out of his...
Straws.
Of his backpack?
Straws?
Why not?
Straws?
It would give it all a comedic effect, you know? Like imagine a very sophisticated mechanism which just shows us spider legs made up of plastic straws.
Oh my god. I think this is something that you could do in the Harry Potter movie, like where Lupin is asking Harry or like the students, okay, you have this kind of, how's it called? This monster that develops into your fear, and then you need to imagine something funny about it. And the guy who was scared of spiders just turned the spider, like, gave the spider rollerblades.
Ah, yeah.
Do you remember?
Yes, I remember.
Yeah, and I think in Mark Emmett's imagination, the spider became like straw legs. I think it's quite cool.
Now for the thing about the spider legs, Lucy looked at Zim in surprise and said to Mindy,
Okay. Mindy, what happened to Zim?
but Mindy couldn't answer because Zim hit her in the stomach. You, dear reader, you followed a tree and passed out.
So every one of you pass out now. Doesn't matter where you are.
Follow a tree. Go to the park and follow a tree. And when the tree starts to move, you pass out because you can't believe it. Because it's too much for the little stupid minds, and therefore you can't stand what has happened. And you pass out immediately. It's too much for your tiny monkey brain. You can't deal with it. Of course, obviously. I never thought of it. It is so brilliant.
Yeah. But I really like that, like, Mindy just hit Zim in the stomach and he became evil again, and then he's, like, hitting back in the stomach. Like, they're just fighting now. Oh, it's so sad. And Lucy is just like, okay, what is going on? Like, Meg, what is going on with you and your cable? Like, he's just fascinated at looking
I tried to figure out a way to get rid of my restraints, and now I'm fiddling around with my little... No, I'm not. No.
Please explain more.
Not this kind of cable.
Cable?
It is my...
What kind of cable? Now I'm interested.
Let's go on now. The next page, please.
Let's continue.
I want to know.
Lucy, of course, she looked annoyed. But not at me, but at Zim, and she said...
Hey, is this going to start again with fighting? I like to fight, but at the moment... that becomes too much. Fighting is getting boring, but it does got to.
Well, that is a very deep utterance because, well, what does it got? What has it got?
To?
No, it does. It says, obviously, it does got to.
Yeah, I think she means like, okay, fighting is boring, but it has to be done.
Well, it's very
in this
creative,
moment, maybe
because you have to make up a sense of that sentence, because it does not explain by itself. You know, language does not stand for itself. It is a matter of interpretation, of course, and this is now a very fertile ground for any sorts of interpretation. Like, did the writer like suffer of a heart attack in the moment of writing this sentence?
No, I think it was Google Translator and the writers.
The brain just shut down immediately?
Instantly, yes.
But, I don't know, fighting is getting boring.
But actually I really like that Lucy is like saying the sentence like, oh, again fighting. Like the Lucy itself starts to recognize that every chapter there's like a fight going on. And like, oh no, not again. Can we stop the stuff and do something more different?
Yeah, what do you think of this idea? Like, fighting is just getting boring because... Lucy always loses and got hit on the head too much, and therefore the whole process of thinking gets more and more difficult. And even stating a plain, clear English sentence. And everything's becoming a mess. And
But I think this is true
therefore,
for all
the
characters.
first part of a sentence still got made up properly, but then afterwards everything just turns into a single mess and something like fighting is getting boring. But it does got to.
Like she becoming drunk
What does she
while
want to
she's
say?
talking. Like, I don't know. Hey, is this going to start again with fighting? I like to fight, but at the moment that becomes too much. Fighting is getting boring, but it does go to... Lucy Exo stopped. Something like this.
Yeah, I can't think of another way to explain this. But of course, she got distracted and can't think of anything else because, meanwhile, and let's get back to the story, you have to keep in mind this sentence, but it does got to, and now expect a plot twist, because whilst saying this, Lucy looked around for a gun, but found nothing except
Point. What should she found?
her brain falling out of her head, lying on the floor.
Oh, like Lucy's a zombie just
Like,
losing her head.
Fighting is getting boring, but it does go to. Something like that,
That-
and then just the whole the natural instincts they kicked in, and she looked for a gun to protect herself.
Natural instinct to look
Yeah.
for a gun. Oh my god.
Must.
My story, everyone has a gun.
Yeah, of course. And she sort of feels she can't think anymore because the brain was dropped. She feels like must protect brain. Looks for a gun.
Oh my god. Okay, meanwhile, what happens with Zim and Mindy?
Of course. Zim had ignored Lucy and ran towards Mandy with his spider legs to kill for good.
To kill for good.
Yeah.
Like he's killing
Kill
Mandy
for
to...
good. What else? Like let's put an end to all of this. Let's once and for all just kill for good.
Yeah, because all of these characters are like trying to kill each other all the time, so why not kill them already
Yeah.
and be done with the story?
And totally crazed and totally convinced of this one definitive fatal choice. He was laughing like crazy. He stood in front of Mandy and picked up... No one suspected this. He picked up the one and only phone.
Why is he picking up a phone?
Which phone? The phone, not a phone. The one phone. The only phone in the fictional universe you've created. The only phone. But the best and the most striking question is, who does he want to call with the only phone in the universe? No one can pick up his call.
Who knows? Maybe there's another the phone.
Okay.
In another universe, there's
It's
also like one
Like
the phone.
there is the phone, but also the mobile, you know? And they can call each other.
Yeah, sure. Like he's just deciding, okay, I will call the police already to clean up the mess that will happen now.
Yeah.
Or who do you think will he call?
The hospital, because
The asylum.
Because why would he call the hospital?
if you remember, as we have established in the chapter before the last chapter, he's now together with the doctor.
Oh, the doctor! I forgot the doctor. Oh my god. Oh, the weird doctor. Oh my god. Oh no. So we don't have any chance anymore for having like a Zim, Lucy, Mindy, Gear, not triangle but
Square.
square. Love. No,
Love
square.
A crossed square, because, no.
No?
No.
Oh no.
Doesn't work. You need a square with one cross, you know?
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
the outer ends they were not connected in such case.
We have a picture of this.
We have a picture. I can show
Yeah.
you later.
We can show you on our Instagram.
Well,
Like,
let's-
follow us on Instagram.
But first of all, here comes an imperative spider leg over them.
Over what?
I don't know.
what?
Over them, I don't know.
Over them, over the phone, over Zim, over Mandy? What?
Over them
All
down
of them.
planets.
All of them. All of the planet, like the spider
Yeah.
legs just exploded.
Oh no, here comes the revenge now. Lucy stood behind Zim and shook a Coke can. She smiled and opened the Coke. She sprayed the can and the whole cola on Zim. Zim stopped and did not roll like last time. He just stood there. His spider legs are back in his pack, and his eyes were back to normal. Well, it's a Shakespearean vibe. His spider legs are back in his pack, and his eyes were back to normal.
It's a nice flow, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
I was definitely thinking about it.
Zim looked bored at Lucy. She just smiled and said,
Oh, my second can of Coke.
That she just found on the ground laying there. Like, is Lucy normally just, like, not buying her can, but just taking any can of cola which is, like, lying on the ground?
It sounds like the city they are living in has a pollution problem.
Garbage everywhere,
Yeah.
cans of Coke everywhere. Like, this is Zim horror, because he's like, oh no, everyone can spray cola on me
At any given time.
at any given time.
but this doesn't matter
Like, the
anymore.
bullying intense.
Because Zim then decided to look briefly at Lucy again, and then looked around.
Okay, Mindy, Gia and you are here, but where is...
Again, okay, Mindy, Gear, and you are here, but where is...
I don't know, you have this kind of, what is it, a Russian accent? No. Like, I don't know, how... Can you redo it?
No, I can't.
Oh.
Lucy finished Zim's sentence. In jail. Oh!
In jail.
Flippy? He freaks out when he remembers the war. Because he suffers...
The war!
The one and only war.
Of course.
Like, every time when he's watching a movie and there's, like, I don't know, the war.
But then she couldn't continue because she couldn't... Why? She couldn't pronounce it?
Yeah, I don't know, maybe Lucy...
I can't pronounce it.
He's suffering from, I don't know the word.
A trauma that results in language loss. Zim looked at her and asked.
Suffer from what?
Lucy took a deep breath and said...
Schizophrenia.
Now for Zim.
What is that? Mini Mindy is saying.
Almost everything Lucy says about schizophrenia, no, is not true.
But everything she says about it now.
No,
But what's with all the things she said before, in the past?
that should be true.
Really?
Yeah, you know, it's a true story.
And now to continue with these lies.
It's-
Lucy. Oh.
I thought you were... I thought you weren't going to say it. Okay. Lucy.
Lucy!
Man, what are you doing?
Lucy! Lucy! Lucy will explain my mental state now.
It's a disease. It causes paranoia and, on rare occasions, it causes paranoia.
Lucy!
Two different personalities when something bad happened. I'm
I
sorry.
don't know. I really like the sentence, it causes paranoia.
And on rare occasions, it causes...
You know, but it's bad when even the paranoia gets paranoid.
I'm crying.
But that's not enough.
There's more to it.
Please for more details. Lucy!
And whenever you remember the bad one comes, this other one personality out.
Out! Out! Out!
In short, Flippy got angry after joining the war.
Remembered?
The war
Oh,
remembered.
yes. He got angry after joining the one war that was remembered. The war remembered. He joined the only one in existence in history. And you got angry. Lucy!
This different personality can also apply to certain words come out and that got
Zim looked at Lucy suspiciously and asked,
Got what, Lucy?
Lucy!
I...
Zim shouted.
What?
End of chapter.
Oh no.
And with that big what,
Yeah.
we conclude this episode, and
Yes.
here's for some disclaimers.
What disclaimer?
No actual mental states were harmed during the making of this episode.
Yeah, because Lucy said nothing is true what happened here. But okay, let's figure out what is schizophrenia in this context of the story. Is it paranoia that causes paranoia?
So we must explain that no name of a real existing disease refers to the one really existing disease, but it's used in a different context of interpretation.
Yes.
Good. So therefore we do not want to offend anyone suffering of a bad mental state, because we do already suffer enough.
From the story.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you think it's in, like, what she really means? Like, it seems like, okay, we have two different personalities that appear, and it seems like Flippy, like, he joins the war, and then when he remembers the war, he becomes, like, a different personality or something.
Well, from a psychological standpoint,
it's your point.
I would assume as a child you just said schizophrenia because it was the only psychological word you knew
Yes,
at that age.
so true.
But for people who were in the war, things like that certainly can trigger a psychotic episode.
Mm-hmm.
It's not called schizophrenia.
But post-traumatic...
Post-traumatic stress
PTSD,
disorder.
yeah.
Exactly. Very well done.
PTSD for short.
Oh,
Yes, that's why veterans get scared on New Year's Eve, for example, when
because of
fireworks. Yeah, careful with that.
Those big blows.
Yes.
And does it also happen, like, she also says that it can also apply to certain words, like, I don't know, if you say a word which remembers you a lot, like, on the war or something? Like, I don't know, if you were given the comment, like, kill, like, if you hear this word.
You
can
won't
also
get
already
such
trigger,
an
like,
order
really-
from your higher-ups.
I don't know,
They
like...
won't shout at you and say, soldier, kill! No!
Like,
It doesn't
but
work like
But
that.
I don't know, is it possible that some words or some sentence can cause, like, personality change or anything like this?
I'm not sure in how far a personality change will take place, but certain words certainly can trigger a reaction.
Emotions and...
Yes.
Like, in general, everything that remembers the person of, like, maybe the war or similar
Exactly.
event.
It might
Yeah.
evoke such images, such experience, and cause emotional stress. But that's
Yes.
not what is referred to as schizophrenia,
Okay,
you know.
but yeah, in this context of the story,
I
it's
just think
like
it
called,
is...
I guess.
it's nonsense. It's just gibberish the character Lucy uses to distract others from her evil plans. And she tries to convince everyone that Zim is a complete maniac. The problem is, it's even true because this sad figure with spider legs made of plastic straws. It's a sad sight.
It's really
It's really-
sad.
It's heartwarming, this urge
Oh.
to be recognized, to feel important, but on a budget. You
But
just
on a
can't
budget.
afford plastic straw spider legs to make an impression.
Oh, I like that you're, like, still sticking to your plastic straw spider legs.
I like it, of course.
But yeah, so this is the end of the chapter. So what do you think about the chapter? Like, actually not so much happened, I think.
Well, I think a lot happened because Mindy was threatening Zim with the gun.
Mhm.
And then Zim got evil for a moment. Then Zim was not evil. Lucy wasted another can of cola.
That's the most important thing
Yeah.
for Lucy, I think.
Pollution and waste.
Yeah.
That's really bad.
Yeah, and Flippy got missing.
Are there any
True.
environmental programs for your little universe? Or
I think because this is the last chapter that I wrote, and I think the next chapter Sam will write, I think.
Yes, I
You want
will.
to?
oh, that's
Okay.
that's the last original chapter.
Yeah, that's the last original chapter
No,
that
that's
I
the
wrote.
biggest news of all.
So, dear listener, it's now the first part of our season.
The first season of Fiction
No.
After Lunch, the original season is now concluded.
Yes, the original season is now over, and how we will continue is that Sam and me will write the continuation of the story.
The horror continues.
The horror continues.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
that's perfect.
Like every chapter, like what is the main purpose of the story? Like every time some people will fight,
I
new
recommend
characters come,
you-
new people die.
You've already tried to change your name before, today. Exactly on this particular date, and I, as a professional, would like
What
to
professional?
would like to ask you to change your name again for the next season from Fiction After Lunch to Horror After Lunch. Of course.
Yeah, like I think the first 3 chapters were not horror. I think the horror started with the school chapter.
Nah, the prologue was
course.
horror.
Ah, yeah.
But I must
The
say,
prologue with the man holding his child and wife, and they are dead, and there's like fire burning
Everywhere.
around them everywhere.
isn't every school child dead inside?
No, okay, so, but now that this chapter is over and we figured out that Lucy also has this kind of like 2 personality thing. So this is maybe what we got out, like Flippy has 2 personalities and Lucy has 2 personalities, or maybe she's lying to make them out as maniac and that the police can catch them.
Yes, and another thing I want to mention is also this personality disorder where you go from one personality to another. That's also not called schizophrenia.
What is
Yeah.
it called then?
I don't know right now.
Oh. We don't know anything. And I would like to conclude very personally this last original chapter with the last word ever written down in the original fanfiction, and it goes like this. What?
Yeah, I think Zim perfectly describes
The
inside
gist
of
of a fiction, of the whole piece of literature.
Yeah, all the time we were like, what is happening? What? No, not again. Okay, so Meg, what do you think will happen in the next episode? Like, I cannot ask Sam because she is already planning, or maybe you can also
As
lie
this
to us.
becomes the
or-
first sort of sponsored content, I
Yeah.
would like to see some hints to the upcoming tomato production facility and the probable premium packaging of each single tomato for the limited price offer of 100 euros paid directly to my bank account
To your bank account, not
As
to
the
the
marketing
Fiction After
manager.
Lunch account.
in charge.
Yeah, I think you
Of
will
tomato
become in
production.
charge of our finances. Not.
Oh.
Sam is responsible for... Yeah, Sam, you're responsible for our social media and like, how's it called? Like the professional name? Communication?
Public relations and communication.
Oh.
And
manager.
management.
Management. And I'm... What am I? Like, I'm just organizer. No,
You're the author.
I'm the author. I
Well,
am. I
she's
forgot.
So Sam is the chief communications manager. What about you? You're the
I'm doing... How's it called? I'm cutting all of
chief
the...
technical-
Editor.
I'm the editor, actually.
the chief technical officer.
Officer. I like officer.
Yeah.
And you're like now our financials.
I am. I'm now the CFO of this thriving company.
This company.
Okay.
Yeah, let's become a company with this fan fiction.
Why not? You mustn't be registered. It's just a fancy name.
Yeah, why not? Or Sam, do you want to give us a hint?
Yeah, if you want something, I
Yeah,
can.
of course, please do it because I look forward to the story getting even more absurd.
No, I hope that not so many people die. Like, I think Sam will
What a
just
blatant
kill
lie!
I think Sam will just kill all of my characters and just use her own characters.
Yeah, replace
Why
with my
not?
own.
Crossovers.
Yes, crossovers.
Very
And then it
nice.
will develop like into her story and then we can continue her story.
But
Oh my
won't
god!
Won't it anyway because she will write the next chapter.
Yeah, she will write the next episode.
So,
Yeah.
look at it.
So we also thought that we can make this like I don't know how to say.
Interactive media!
Yeah, interactive media. And also to make it a book, we have to change a few things about it.
I think a lot of things need to change about it.
it happens that fan fictions are made into
Books?
original books
Oh my.
when you change the names and when
Yeah.
it's far enough from the real thing, like 50 Shades of Grey used to be a Twilight fan fiction. Not long ago, One Direction fan fiction got made into a movie, which was bad, but we won't talk about this. And so,
I guess it just happened because the plot was just driving into one direction.
Oh. Oh. And actually, you also started to rewrite the first chapter. So,
I did.
Meg, what you're reading now is not going to be in the book. Like, this is too horrible. This is
So
too...
nothing of this will ever be published. Nothing.
Like, in this podcast. But, like, the
Well,
book
that
that we are
doesn't
planning to
count,
do
obviously.
is be better, well-written, and... Yeah, better. Better in general. Like, you will see maybe in the next episode.
Your declination is wrong. It's not called better, it's called worse.
Oh, you're not very optimistic, you know?
Well, I'm looking forward to it. Like, the life gives us enough opportunity for realizing these absurdities, and like putting it into a work of literature is very calming and relaxing, and gives you a possibility to reflect on all such things, and therefore, why not continue like this?
We will continue with this. So, okay, this is everything that we have for today, I think. And now we also want to
Promote social media.
Promote social media. So,
for the third time this episode.
yeah, but we don't told you about all of our social media, and because now we established that Sam is our, what is it? Chief social... No.
No, you are the chief.
Chief Communications Officer, I guess.
Okay, Chief
The CCO.
The CCO?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Chief Communication Officer, please introduce our social media.
You can follow us on
Instagram.
under Fiction After Lunch.
Fiction After Lunch.
On Twitter under
Twitter.
Fiction and Lunch.
Fiction and Lunch.
Because I didn't have enough letters.
Huh? But
You can only have a certain amount of letters in the username.
Fiction After Lunch would have been too long.
Yes! So it had to be Fiction and
I'd
Lunch.
issue a formal complaint about this nonsense. Like, you can't even use your real name.
Yeah.
Yeah, now we
I
have
feel
two names,
discriminated.
Fiction and Lunch. So next time
So,
we will eat lunch while we
On
do the
evil
fiction.
Twitter, which is very nice because it offers a suitable stage to scam even more people, to enrich even more people with our premium content.
Oh my god.
Where you can find us
Our
under
financial
the name
officer
of
is getting worse.
Fiction and Lunch on Twitter.
Fiction and Lunch.
On Tumblr we are Fiction After Lunch, like
Again.
it should be. Yeah.
Fiction after lunch, yes.
And you can write us an email under fictionafterlunch@gmail.com.
fictionafterlunch@gmail.com.
And yeah, so we will see you in the next episode with Sam's original story about what will happen next in the episode. And yeah, until then, 1, 2, 3.
Don't drink chemicals that will kill you instantly. Yay! Here's a quick psychology lesson from future Sam, because I think this subject is kind of important. And so, schizophrenia, according to Psychology Today, is a serious and chronic mental illness that impairs a person's thoughts and behavior, and if untreated can include psychosis. Schizophrenia is a disabling mental illness that affects more than 1% of the world's population. Individuals afflicted with this thought disorder experience hallucinations, disorganized thinking, and are prone to false and paranoid beliefs. These and other symptoms often render the individual fearful, withdrawn, or difficult to interact with. Schizophrenia takes an enormous toll on afflicted families, many people with schizophrenia have difficulty maintaining a job or living independently, though it is important to recognize that treatment, especially at the onset of symptoms, allows individuals with the diagnosis of schizophrenia to lead meaningful and productive lives. Symptoms of schizophrenia are classified by the DSM-5 as positive and negative, each of which include a suite of behavior. There may also be cognitive symptoms which are harder to detect because functioning is already impaired. For a diagnosis to be made, acute symptoms must be present for a 1-month period, and continuous signs of a disturbance must be present for at least 6 months. Despite the severity of their symptoms, many people diagnosed with schizophrenia are unaware that they have an illness. Positive symptoms include hallucinations, delusions, thought disorders, movement disorders, and negative symptoms include flat affect, which means a person's face does not move or they talk in a dull or monotonous voice. Also, lack of pleasure in everyday life, lack of ability to begin and sustain planned activities, speaking little even when forced to interact. It's a very common mistake to confuse schizophrenia with multiple personality disorder. That's the word I couldn't remember when we were recording the episode after brunch. So the thing Mindy actually wanted to talk about is the formerly known multiple personality disorder, which we now call dissociative identity disorder. It is a mental illness that involves disruptions or breakdowns of memory, awareness, identity, and or perception. I have an article from the Cleveland Clinic, and it says that the dissociative identity disorder, or DID, was formerly called multiple personality disorder. People with DID develop one or more alternate personalities that function with or without the awareness of the person's usual personality. DID is one of a group of conditions called dissociative disorders. Dissociative disorders are mental illnesses that involve disruptions or breakdowns of memory, consciousness or awareness, identity and or perception, mental functions that normally work smoothly. When one or more of these functions is disrupted, dissociative symptoms can result. These symptoms can be mild, but they can also be severe to the point where they interfere with a person's general functioning, both in a personal life and at work. How common is DID? Instances of true DID are very rare. When they occur, they can occur at any age. Females are more likely than males to get DID. And what causes dissociative identity disorder? A history of trauma is a key feature of dissociative identity disorder. About 90% of the cases of DID involve some history of abuse. The trauma often involves severe emotional, physical, and/or sexual abuse. It might also be linked to accidents, natural disasters, and war. An important early loss, such as the loss of a parent or prolonged periods of isolation due to illness, may be a factor in developing DID. Dissociation is often thought of as a coping mechanism that a person uses to disconnect from a stressful or traumatic situation or to separate traumatic memories from normal awareness. It is a way for a person to break the connection with the outside world and create distance from an awareness of what is occurring. Dissociation can serve as a defense mechanism against the physical and emotional pain of a traumatic or stressful experience. By dissociating painful memories from everyday thought processes, a person can use dissociation to maintain a relatively healthy level of functioning as though the trauma had not occurred. Episodes of DID can be triggered by a variety of real and symbolic traumas, including mild events such as being involved in a minor traffic accident, adult illness or stress, or a reminder of childhood abuse for a parent may be when their child reaches the same age which the parent was abused. What are the symptoms? For example, hallucinations, depersonalization, severe headaches, anxiety, eating and sleeping disturbances, and many more. I just wanted to add this to the episode because, as I said, both schizophrenia and multiple personality disorder often get confused when you talk about it in everyday life, and it was important to me to mention that because, as we've already said, I study psychology, and yeah. Thank you very much for listening, and you will hear from us in the next episode. Bye!